Nothing is happening. We were talking like the last meeting about nothing. There's nothing being everything, apparently. That's a strange line. We are so used that everything is real and solid and real events are happening. Thoughts and maybe feelings are happening to you. Everything, even also the body seems very real, feels real. So there seems to be someone inside and trying to deal with everything, trying to make your life work, trying to do the right thing, thinking that that drew by a lot of thinking about things, maybe there can be a solution to solve some problems there seems to be. In this meeting, it's talking, there's only one. That means there's not two. Normally, what is in normal life, you could say in the story, there always seems to be two, me and you, good and bad, before and after, everything is about two. When they're saying there's only one, that can sound a bit strange because you can't imagine what that is. And it's also, in the same time, it's impossible to say what that is, how it's working, how that's giving an example. It's impossible. That's strange because we're not used that something you can't imagine. Always it's about knowing or understanding or making an image of it, trying to reach. When there's only one, there's only what's happening. And that's everything. There's nothing excluded. And it's can be very tiny, like moving the hand or a feeling or watching a tree. No, a tree, not watching a tree, a tree watching. So that's only one. And there's not someone watching. And that's what we are used to, that there's always someone someone doing things. It's when there's very obvious, there's no one. And it's not only an understanding. This is not about an understanding. When there's an understanding, there's no one, then you can say to yourself, oh no, in certain situations, but there's no one, so that's more a concept. It's also a way to deal with things in life that seems to happen to you, and maybe that's more easy to say to yourself, oh, nothing is happening, or it is what it is, or that's what's happening. People say that. I don't like that. That's because that's a new concept. That's the new way of finding some way to deal with some difficulties. There's no escape. There's already no escape, but there seems to be an escape by thinking or trying to change or being busy with searching to deal with things and searching to find the best way. Know me, enlightenment, whatever. There is there's no enlightenment. There's nothing to find. When there's a search, it will never end. The search won't stop. There's nothing going on. There's already nothing going on. And there's nothing to find. It's already what's happening. So there's nothing to find. Trying to find it is the best way not to find it. Could say that. But and you can know that, and you can hear that and think, oh yeah, of course. And subtly in some directions, there's still a search going on or looking for something. Because it's an embodied sense. It's an embodied feeling there's something wrong, it has to be fixed, there's something not right yet. And it's not, sometimes it's not even in the mind, but it's so embodied. And it subtly can go on like that. And knowing the new non-duality talk, and you can talk a lot of how things are going on without me. And still there can be a subtle wanting to have friends. Well, can be anything. This is no agenda. This is not, nothing is important. And that's also very strange because it seems in life there are some things are important, some things are not important. And it's always about you. If in the search, it's about you. In it's when there's good and bad. When the good is the good feeling, feeling good about things. Bad is that you feel bad. Bad feelings are most, yeah, maybe anger or I don't know, pain can be there, fear. When there's no me, which already is like that, of course, but when it's very obvious, then there's still fear. There can be fear or joy or any feelings. There's nothing going on about this is good or not good or I don't want it or things like that. It's not coming. It's not coming up. And it can be not really comfortable, but then there's no way trying to change it. So there's no escape. And there can be a feeling or a longing like, oh, I want to have no me anymore or want to feel the same or things like that. But most of the time, what is forgotten is that it's the loss of everything. And that's impossible to understand. The loss of the identity, the loss of everything. There's nothing left. And there is everything, and which already was. So it's impossible to explain how that works. We can speak about it, and it's not only in the words. It's most of the time it's not in the words that's communication is happening. It's underneath the word. There's something else going on, and that's giving a resonance. That's something like a resonance can be there. So it's not in the words. It can be maybe there can be a clarity there, or it can be not a clarity. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's understood. Life doesn't need understanding. Life is, and there's no need for anything. It's already complete, like it is. So we can talk about that. And you can ask any question. We can chat about anything, about the story, doesn't matter. And we'll see what happens. So you can ask questions, just open the screen, or you can close the screen and open your, unmute yourself. Or maybe you do it in the chat, or you don't say anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, William.
It feels like, as I've been listening to this message, it kind of takes everything away that the person hopes and dreams is going to bring fulfillment.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
And it's almost like being backed into a corner and there's no possible where to go.
There's even no corner. Oh, yeah. There's nowhere to go. No. Because it's already there. It's what is. And we think, oh no, that's not what I want. That's something else. I'm looking for something. And it's everything. It's already everything.
It just can't be seen or heard by the person.
Yeah. Even that is a story. Yeah, it's so simple. It's yeah, you can't say it how it is. It's the laughing already. That's it. It's nothing
Okay.
special. It's what already happened. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. In that sense, it's not spectacular. Not at all. It's very normal, which already always was and is nodding. That's it. That's everything.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Hello, Rose.
Hi, Christian.
Hello.
Hello.
Sometimes, thank you for this message. Thank
Oh,
you. Sometimes it's obvious that there is no me, that it's a story. Uh,
yeah.
I I'm I see it clearly. It's a flash. It's nothing I can grab, but
Yeah.
it's like no sensation, no nothing. It's just uh, something stuck, and uh, and I said to myself, um, is it that my is it Christian the I that has this flash, and the thought come that it's it's not very important to see if it's an I or it's obvious. I and
Yeah.
it the it seemed that nothing is very important to understand about that obviousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can't even think like, oh, now I know. No.
No, this
Not that.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
And for 2 or 3 months, but I just say that, and I realize there's no time. I I feel that it's my words is there is no time, but I'll tell the story,
Yeah.
the words. I have pain. I have broken bone, and I feel the pain is in space, and
Ah.
yeah, and I don't want the pain, but I don't have any choice. It's there.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
it's there. I don't know. So it's
Mm.
sometimes I take a pill, sometimes I'm not. It's
Sure. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
yeah, yeah. Mhm,
Mm. Oh, nice. Ah.
yeah.
Mm.
But I realized when I listened to you on YouTube, or I just read your your web site, your written words on your web. I was a psychologist, and it's really true that it's so convincing that if a thought come and after that there's an emotion, it feels so real that the emotion is related to the thought. It's very convincing. Huh? I'm surprised that it's not related. Really, how come we are so convincing about that? I don't understand why it's so strong, that idea.
But when there's two, when there's a feeling I am here and there's the world, then everything is two. So there's time.
Yeah.
So there's before and after. So the whole thing, the whole story starts. And of course, we lived in that story for a long time. So it's not only here, but it's just normal. It's so embodied.
Yes, yes.
That there's no relation. Yeah. It can be a shock that then suddenly there's no relation, there's no consequence. Huh?
Yes.
First, maybe you're angry, like, oh, there is, and sometimes it's like, oh, sometimes you don't know. What I've noticed is when there's a feeling, I really don't know where it comes from. It's like you can, there's something going on maybe in the mind, but really, it's you assume it's from that, but you don't know. And that's wow, that's so strong. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. There are no relations.
Yeah.
That's huge. Mm.
It's huge. And I talked about that to a friend who's listening this kind of message, but I won't dare to talk to it, to talk about it to any of with my other friends. I won't dare to talk about it because it's so strange. It's outside of us, the society or it's
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
sure.
weird.
But I don't talk to everybody like this. Of course not.
No,
No, I
because
should.
no, I'm not talking about that because myself, it's so strange. The words won't come.
That's it. That's it. The words won't come. I know. I know the same thing. The words
Yeah.
don't come. So you
No,
can choose not choose to talk or not to talk. It's
no,
that's words. Yeah, I know. Yeah, sure. And in
yes,
some situations, suddenly they are. I don't
uh,
know. So that's how it works.
yeah,
It's fantastic. Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
Wow. Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. there's a chat. Laying down, maybe it's still too much about me. When there's a story, it's always about me. Me is the story. So when there's trying to work it out or to try to understand, it's always me, about me, because me wants peace, or me wants rest, or happiness, or relaxation, or something like that. Me doesn't want everything. That's the whole story of me. Me is not real, of course. But it's so convincing, and it's such a survival system, you could say, like so embodied, strong feeling that you are there and you are in control in some way, and you have to do it. You are, there's something going on about that. You have to understand or to find it, or maybe not in words, but in the body can be an urge or something going on like that. That feeling in the body, what seems to be in the body, is it. But they're still like, yeah, okay, but and that when that's there, that's the energetic part of this message. You can't understand it. It's when there's a loss, then it's suddenly, oh, something can get clear, or something like maybe everything is clear, but can be also in parts. It's not about finding, it's about loss. No control. And it can be mostly this message can be very much, most of it can be understood, and yeah, it's clear, and it's very clear. And then there's going on in the daily life, you could say. And then there's some situations, then it's suddenly, it's so strong, it's not even questioned that it's different, because it's so strong. And then there's suddenly that survival system, and it's trying to deal with it. But that's life. That's life. It's not you doing that. It's life. It's energy like that. So it's not wrong or not yet finished or something like that. It's already life.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Hi. A few days ago, I knocked on my neighbor's door because they'd been annoying me. They're new people. They've moved in, and they'd be making noise. And I'd be, it's been driving me mad, And so I knocked on the door, and I had to sort of be prepare myself because I didn't want a big argument or something horrible. And actually, when I did that, they were very reasonable, and they said, "Fine, I won't go into all the details about it." But so that was that, and I felt, oh, okay, good. I still didn't like the fact that I felt compelled to go down and speak to them. But I felt okay. That was that. And while I'm sitting here at in this meeting, this Zoom meeting, suddenly I can hear they're doing something again. I mean, it's nothing. It isn't terrible, and then probably don't know that it's a big deal. But the walls are thin, the floors and whatever. And suddenly it's like they're doing it in my room, and I got very irritated.
Yeah.
Thinking, I was disappointed with myself that I thought, okay, why do I care so much? I thought this would, I'd lose that. I listened to this message and I hear you, but it's still there was that irritation. I've not. It didn't seem. I haven't. There's no change. I'm still being. There's change in many ways. Things have fallen away, but this thing very silly. And it was a disappointment. And then you said something a little earlier about that it doesn't change anything or something like that. I can't. And yeah, I'd hoped that my reactions wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. You become more holy.
No,
No irritation anymore.
no, sorry, no what?
Sorry. No irritation anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It can happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Too. Of course, it's very normal. Irritation can be there. Trying to that people stop can be there. We don't know what will happen,
No.
but anything can be there. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm aware that other people with the same noise may not be so irritated, but it's just yeah.
How that's also something that me does is comparing to other people, and then you get out the best or you get out the less. It's amazing. What is there? It's when there's irritation, then there's irritation, or yeah.
But it does. It's not just the irritation in the moment. I feel depressed about it. I imagine the future. Oh, I've still got to live with this sort of thing, or I have to go down again and speak to them, and it was uncomfortable the first time, and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I just hope that
yeah, it's very human to have that, but
yeah.
of course everybody is in that story in a certain way, like trying to solve it, and then suddenly it isn't. So
yeah.
And yeah, can be there. We don't know what's going on, so how things work out. This is not about being more of anything, being more accepting, or that everything will change in a more comfortable way. Change can happen or not, or
I mean, I've noticed that other things have fallen away. That but this is just a constant. Yeah. So it made me think. Sometimes you talk about the difference between understanding this message and something else, and I start to think, well, maybe I just understand it. You know, maybe if there's something else was going on, this irritation wouldn't be there, wouldn't be so strong. You know.
You don't know. There can be something that when there's something really falling away, and then that's just lost. And there can be some other. It's energetic, so yeah, it can be anything. But irritation and neighbors making noise and irritation still can happen. And
Yeah.
maybe talking to them or not. I'm getting new neighbors, so.
Yeah. Oh, well, good luck.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We
No
talk
hope.
when they are there. We talk again.
Yeah, yeah, okay. It'll be funny to hear you coming on and talking about your irritation with your neighbours. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
That's
yeah,
gonna be great.
yeah. Okay, okay. Thanks.
Mm.
What about the dog? How is the dog doing?
Sorry,
What about the dog?
the dog.
Yes?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about a dog.
So
Not so easy to. My daughter has a dog, and she asked me to take care sometimes, but I'm not so much into dogs. So, God, it's not all nice, loving being there. No, it's sometimes a struggle. Yeah, yeah, but he's nice.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Hi. I read something earlier on today in a book, and it was about relationships, and it was and you know, people having stormy relationships and things, people falling out and that type of thing. And there was a little piece in it which said that that moods come and go. You know, you may be in a happy mood, you may be a sad mood, all different sorts of things. You know, and it was like saying like a cause and effect type of thing. It was saying these moods come and go. We can't control them.
Yeah.
But moods, when you're in a bad mood, you may, that could lead to a lot of thoughts, busy thoughts, and the busy thoughts will can lead to strong emotion. So, and things that bit related to how it was before. So if you're in a good mood, like I was saying before about irritating neighbors, it bothers you less, and that can come and go. You know, it isn't the same each time. But there was this cause and effect thing that these moods come and go, and the moods lead to lots of thinking, and these thoughts lead to strong emotions, say anger or everything like that. And it was advising that when it came to relationships, it's best to wait and to support the other person if they're going through this, a bad mood and this chain reaction, and not try and argue it out or say this is right or that's wrong. But there was still this thing about cause and effect, mood, then these thoughts leading to emotion. But from these meetings here, from hearing your you know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
I suspect you don't see any cause and effect going on here at all.
No,
That moods don't.
It's not moods lead to certain thoughts or something.
Yeah, yeah.
There can be a lot of thoughts. It's not because of that feeling or no.
No.
It's new. Everything is new. So
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
advice. So that's
No.
when somebody is saying, oh, this leads to that, and then what you can do then or something. That's always part of that.
Yeah.
Or understanding or something like that.
Yeah, and that'll stop you getting into you know, arguments and heated arguments with people. You just sort of not forgive them, but you accept that it's just something out of their control, and when the mood goes, the issue will just disappear.
But it's always about you wanting to feel good.
Yeah.
So it's always the same story, and people can help you to make that happen. And there are several 100,000 ways of talking about that, but it's always about being there, someone, and somebody else who can help you, and to feel good again, something like that. It's always the same story, and it's not working, or for some while, and it's an endless search.
But this is more. It seems like less of a doing thing, more of a standing back and not trying to make it better, just letting it pass, sort of thing. But it's based on this idea that
the same thing. Letting it pass is someone does that.
Okay.
About letting it pass or standing back. I was thinking that a lot, because I was always like, oh, I'm too fiery, or I have to stand back and more. And then I was on my bike, and then I was standing back all the time trying to that. Yeah. And then suddenly something, I don't know what, it was something moving me forwards. And suddenly that was everything. I was like, oh, it's a concept. It's a concept. And I didn't know, and then it was gone, but it was so clear. It was like, oh, it's still subtly that suits. Some people are more wanting to set back, other people have to more to be in it, or it depends on the character. There are different advices.
Right.
No, it's not about that. This, what I'm so as I see it, has nothing to do with that. That seems like there's someone who can do that. That's always something subtly someone doing can do that, or an advice, because you think the way it's just going like by itself, that can't be it. It has to be more standing back or more. No, the way it's going is it. Wow.
So if an argument starts up,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You don't have to stand back and let the mood pass or anything. Yeah. Okay. You're very strict. You're very strict with this
I'm
this
very
message. Yeah.
yeah. That's, but even if it is like that, no. How do you say no? Nothing more is that, because it's exactly how it is. That when there's an argument, they can be there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
There's so many ideas and concepts about what is good and not good, or things like that. It cuts completely through that. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a fierce argument. Nothing wrong with it. No.
No, it's not wrong. It can be, yeah, no, nothing is wrong.
And people saying, "Why this is this."
Happening. It's not right either. This is, this message is only describing. It's
Yeah.
not giving a clue or something or a road, or it's describing. It's what's happening. That's the neutral part of it. That's it. So it doesn't say this is the right thing or this is wrong or it has to change or everything around. And but that's what B does. It's always around, like, oh, this is what's happening. Oh, how do I do? Oh, there's something. It's awareness, like looking at it and thinking like, oh, that's not the right way, or maybe I should more. That can be so strong.
Mm.
You can't even. It's maybe a longing, but there is nothing wrong in the way Dave is going. That's the Dave. It's life Daving. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Wow. Wow. That's the character. That's or I don't know, something else. Doesn't matter. It's yeah.
And it's not me accepting the character, Dave.
No,
No.
something else.
No.
No, you can't think, oh my God, what did I do? And then that's it.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, but it's the character. It's Dave, and then we are always that's that me part. That's always looking at it in a certain way and thinking what is better or how should I be. And that's everybody knows that. And when that's lost, it just goes and like that.
Mm.
That's what we're talking about. And it's not a certain way. I don't know what will happen. I don't know. You don't know either.
So you're quite in your life. It's quite possible you may get involved in a terrible argument, shouting and screaming and throwing things across the room.
I don't know if it will be shouting. Maybe it's not that intense, but it can be. Yeah, it can
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, it does happen.
Yeah.
But the strange thing is, it's there, and it's in a way, it's not completely serious.
Right.
It's there. It can be really. This is a fiery character, so and still there's something that lightness where we talked about this morning.
Yeah. So at the same time, it maybe even some maybe even some enjoyment.
It's
No.
joy. It's not really enjoying it, but it's because it can be really like, come on, or something. And then, but that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. else. No, and it's not to it's just coming. It's just coming like that. And then it's gone. And then
Yeah.
sometimes also laughing about it, like, what was that?
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I recognize that what David you were speaking about, and also the movement. So that is just what is happening.
Yeah. Mm.
And there are people that have judgments about that.
It can be people judge or saying to you that you're not doing the right thing, or yeah, that can happen. Here, that happens too. That I said, I said to a friend, I did da da da. I don't remember what I was. And then she said, no, you should have done that and that and that. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, that went like that. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't say anything. It doesn't matter. You can say something or not. At that moment was like that. So what? Then that, and then there's something else. The strange thing is when there's that, it's so obvious. It's completely lost. There's someone. Then it's not taken home. Something like that. So it doesn't. It's like, I feel like hurt. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
When there's someone, it wants to feel good, and when it's public, then there's suddenly, you don't accept me, or I don't know, something like that. But when there's no one, there's nothing going on about accept, or people have to see me, or all those survival things that we have, what we normally have. It's just lost. So then it just, I don't know how it works. They say things and it's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't pick up or something like that. Yeah. So when there's a feeling, when somebody's saying something like a judgment or something, and there's a feeling, it's not related. That's so strong. We think, because she said that I'm feeling. No, then there can be a feeling, then that's it. There's no relation between that what somebody is saying. It's you. There's feeling. Feeling. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because we're so immediately in a relation, and there's a story, of course, and then it doesn't matter if it's going on, but this is saying there's no relation. Yeah.
Mm.
And then when there's a feeling, you don't need to feel it very completely or something like that. There's also some people say something like that. When there's a feeling, and it can be there, and then I don't know. I'm not so interested. It can be there, and then it's gone, or maybe not for a while. Yeah. A feeling is not more important than drinking tea.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But sometimes that can be so embodied and strong that it is. It's something, maybe it's to hear that, and then maybe it's forgotten for a long while. I don't know.
Thanks.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Luan.
Luann, yep. There's a particular aspect of this communication I find particularly resonating, and that's with time. It seems that when time is seen as apparent as opposed to real, everything in its wake kind of dissipates, cause and effect, evolution of the self, stories. I really don't have a question, but if there's something you can say about time, I hear it in your other videos and certainly with Jim Newman and stuff, but there's something that gets really giddy here when I hear about time being apparent versus real.
Yeah. Yeah, but time is, you know it in holidays, just in the story already. In holidays, you don't know which day it is, what time it is, things like that. And that's a normal thing, like, oh, then it's not that important anymore. But it's even time seems like it's also like before and after, that's also time. And then when there's time, there's before and there's after. Then it starts a little bit more tricky, because before and after, or we can say the past and the future, I can understand because there's no past. No, that's easy in a way. But before and after, that's something else. We are not used to question that. And we're so used that when there's time, and when there's no time, there's only this, and it's new, so there's nothing going on. And you have remembering, like, oh, 5 minutes ago I was walking in the garden, something like that. Then you think, oh, but that's before now. But it's a memory. It's an image in the mind that there's a memory, and it's because it's so normal there's time, then that we can abstract that, that memory was before. And so it's a bit quick said, but it's very much that abstracting of the mind is capable of making a memory like it's real, and it did really happen, because everything feels real. So that's also real. It's an image, but yeah, we make it real, and it's like that happened before, and in the same time after is also something like I'm busy with trying to think about what shall I do next, or what is my next step, or what do I do next time, or we are always busy with thinking that, because we think there's something, we are capable of doing something, but there's also a next step. That's on us. We are taking the step. And but there's no one, and there's no taking steps. It's just completely new. It's life with something else, you could say, in a strange way. But we are so into, we are there, and everything happens around us. And when I'm thinking that will happen, so that whole construction is so solid and real and embodied, that if that's so believed, then it's seen like that, it's experienced like that. So it's confirming, and so go on. And when there's somebody like me or other people like saying, oh, maybe it's different, that's can be threatening too, because it's so a solid something you can lean on, and how life is going. And then suddenly that building, there are put holes in the building, you could say. So it's not that steady anymore. You don't know, and how so not knowing is coming in, and we are wanting to control and to know and to feel safe, or that. And then suddenly there's not knowing, and that's something, and in the end, it's not not a big deal because it's like that. It's not a big deal. But when everything feels safe and solid and real and like that, and suddenly there are holes in that, like, oh, maybe that it's not really like, then it's like trembling or like, oh, and fears coming and not wanting it or all kind of thing, or longing or anything can happen then. So something like that. Yeah.
No, it's very resonating. And it does seem that, you know, in a moment, so to speak, of unknowing, the first thing the self energy goes to is something in time, a memory, an image of some sort. And, you know, something that just seems to come up. If I take an image, we call a memory, say eating breakfast this morning,
Oh, yeah.
and compare it to something last week or childhood, just based on those images alone, you can't tell what was before and after. It takes something more solid to come in, it seems.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Thank you, Rose.
Yeah, and there's also, that's the same about the world and the news, something like that. We see it on television and there's a whole story around, like, you know what's happening. You don't know, you hear some things, and that's in watching movies is the same. There's something in the gap, in between the gaps, it's filled in. But there are a lot of gaps and it's not a real world, it's not a real happening, but there's so quickly it fills in and convincing, and some people see something else, so it's even like, what is the truth? And it's amazing how it goes on. Yeah. And it's only this. That's very obvious. That's yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Which reminds me of just something you said in one of your other videos when you came to New York a few years ago for the first time, and you had these conceptions of New York, and you're saying all there was walking down the street, buildings, people, that's just what is. And I found that resonating as well. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Rose, I'm working at a school, and there I don't know how to say, they want that everyone is doing kind of self-reflection. That looks like the opposite of this, just look like consciousness. You have to be conscious of your own behavior and do the right thing.
Yeah. It can be in a situation, then people ask you that or something like that. I don't know what will happen. Maybe there's doing something or trying or not trying. I don't know. You will see what's happening. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I also don't know.
No. And it doesn't matter. It seems like, oh, it's very important to know if to do what do I do in this situation or that. Nothing is real. It seems like there's a situation and there's walking in that school. I don't know. And well, so what? Anything can happen. That there's no control. There's no right or wrong. There's seems to happen that, then that can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
Mm. This message is not saying, oh, this message is better than all those other psychological psychological things. No, when that's happening, so can happen. It's so what? Nothing is wrong. I don't know, maybe there's anything can happen. This is not better than anything else. This is not a message about how to do things. No. When everything is lost, then that importance, then the solidness of everything is also lost. So there is something else. What you can't say is different. In that sense, you could say that. There's something not so serious anymore. And that doesn't mean that you cannot be serious, but it's both. There can be, there's underneath, it's lighter or something like that. It's, so you can't say how it is, but there's something not that solid and important and meaningful and that it can't be seen like that anymore. And it's not that it's noticed, it's energetic, it's lost, that solid, that surviving, that feeling I have to take care of that's all is lost. And then suddenly there's everything, and then it can everything can be hunger, can be getting a slap in your face. It can, I don't know. It's just, that's the same with everybody. You don't know. But that feeling, I have to deal with everything, or how can I deal with, or what's going on, or that's lost. And there's everything, and it's no escape. And in the same time, it's life. A life in a strange way, maybe nobody can, I don't know if everybody can see it, but it's life is aliveness, it's joy, but it's subtle, it's very subtle, and it's overlaid by so many concepts and things and how to deal with it. But you see it in really little children. Life is aliveness, it's joy, it's anger, this, moving, and like that, just like that, without any reason, without any meaning. It's when it's growing up, it seems like, oh, we have to deal with things because I am here and you are there, and that whole story starts and it gets more solid and real, and then suddenly that's that whole survival happening or thing that can be so embodied, and I don't know how it happens, but it can be lost. And then that same aliveness, which is already there, it has always been there, is suddenly it's the freedom, it's freed, or it's suddenly, no, it's not freed, it's it's so difficult to say how it is. When there's a character, it feels like being in prison, and when that's that whole survival thing, it's not that strong anymore, or it's not happening anymore, then the character blossoming. It's like the character is like the character. What is happening is the character, and nothing going on about you shouldn't do that or things like that. That's that me, which is so embodied and so normal, and so in some situations you think, oh no, it's very clear, but in some situations it can be just coming back and so strong and convincing. There's nothing happening. It's all an appearance. It seems to happen and it seems to be solid. Nothing is real. Nothing is going anywhere. And circumstances seems very real. It's energy. So it's going without any meaning. It's going nowhere. Nothing is going. Nothing is going anywhere. It's happening, and that's it. It's new. It's always new. It's only new. Even the body isn't real. Isn't solid. There's nothing inside, and it's there. It's apparently there, and it's also not there. So that whole thing about taking care of the body can be so strong and like, and it's not wrong. When then that's there, then that's really a thing that's going on. But nothing is needed. That's amazing. Nothing is needed. No homework, no trying to understand, no trying to find the best way, no finding, no me. There's no homework. That's what is happening, is it. And if you see it's not, if you don't see it's apparent, so what? That is, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's everything. It's already everything. And that everything, that's the unconditional love. There are no conditions. That's the love. There are no conditions at all. It's everything. Walking, irritation, making noise, the street. And nothing is more important than something else. Nobody is more important than somebody else. No, it's only different. It's it's the same energy. It's one. It's already unconditional love. It can't be anything else. That's life. And it isn't serious. Nothing is serious. Nothing is going somewhere or important or serious or that's the joy. But it can be anything and everything. It can be a storm and branches on your head, or it's not safe. This is not about being safe. There's no control. There's not knowing. That's it. So this is it. Thank you.